back to another revision series. In today's class, we are going to deal with chapter number 3A, that is Oceans and Seas, and we will also complete chapter 3B, that deals with lakes and rivers. So let's begin. In our last class, we dealt with the definition of oceans, importance of oceans, and all other smaller concepts. In today's class, we will start with the oceans, and we have already completed the Pacific Ocean, Indian, Atlantic, Arctic, and the Southern Ocean. There are 5 important oceans. In this, you have to only remember the location of the oceans. Once you know the location of the oceans, more or less, the importance of the ocean, the functions of the oceans remain the same. Every ocean is a habitat for many organisms. We derive sodium chloride, that is salt, from these oceans. So they are the home to many kind of phytoplankton. The oceans moderate the temperature. So the functions of the ocean more or less remain the same, but only thing is you have to remember the location. So we have completed our oceans. So let's start with major seas of the world. What is the sea? Sea is a large body of salt water. Then the difference between the sea and the ocean is it depends on the areal extent, or the dimension covered by the ocean is much larger than the dimension covered by the sea. Next is Bering Sea. The Bering Sea is part of the Pacific Ocean region. It is known for its fishing or fish varieties, etc., etc. Next is the Caribbean Sea. The Caribbean Sea is part of the Atlantic Ocean. To the southeast of the Gulf of Mexico, we have the sea called Caribbean Sea, and in this sea we have many islands called as Caribbean Islands, isn't it? So the next sea is North Sea. The North Sea is located between Europe and the mainland of Europe and the British Isles. Between mainland of Europe and the British Isles, we have a sea called as North Sea. And what is the speciality of the North Sea? The sea is known for its petroleum and natural gas reserves. Next is Black Sea. Black Sea. Where is the sea located? The sea lies in the southeastern part of Europe, and it is an inland sea. Many great rivers flow into this sea, such as Dnieper, Don, etc. Next is Caspian Sea. Where is the Caspian Sea? First, whenever we do of any sea or ocean, we have to first see the location. So, where is the Caspian Sea located? First thing, it is a great enclosed body of water. It is an enclosed sea, and it is the world's largest lake. It lies between southeastern areas of Russian Federation and northern Iran. Between these two regions, southeastern part or the southeastern areas of Russian Federation and northern Iran, is Caspian Sea. Next sea is Arabian Sea. We all know that in the Indian Ocean region we have a sea, that is Arabian Sea. The sea is economically important, and during the ancient times also, this sea acted as a connectivity between European continent and Indian subcontinent, and the sea is known for its mineral oil reserves. Next is Red Sea. Where is the Red Sea located? Red Sea is a seawater inlet of the Indian Ocean lying between Africa and Asia. Red Sea is a saltwater body, isn't it? And why we call it as Red Sea? Does the color of the water is red? No. This sea has many algae in it, and these algae turn reddish brown. Because of that reason, the water appears as if it is red. And another speciality of Red Sea is, along this sea a canal has been constructed, and that canal is known as Suez Canal, isn't it? Was constructed in the year 1859. So that is another importance of this Red Sea. Apart from this, it is one of the busiest trade routes. It connects Europe and Asia. So this, and it also contains mineral oil deposits like North Sea, like Arabian Sea. Even the Red Sea also contains the mineral oil deposits. Next is Dead Sea. So where is the sea located, and what is the importance of this sea? The Dead Sea is the saltiest water, is the second saltiest water lake in the world, which contains salt content up to 33%. It's more like a oceanic water. Even oceanic water has salt content from somewhere around 37 to 38%. And the sea itself is having 33% of the salt water content. Then next is the Aral Sea. Next sea is Aral Sea, we also call Aral Sea as a disappearing sea, because the aerial extent of the sea is disappearing day by day. And where is this sea located? It is located in the heart of the Central Asian region, right? And it is east of the Caspian Sea. It is in the central part of the Asia as well as Central Asian region, as well as it is very near to the Caspian Sea region. Here it is said that the volume of the water has decreased by 2/3 in the last 25 years, and they say that in this Aral Sea, fish once swam, but now camels wander over the floor of the sea. Such is the condition or situation of this sea. Because of this, we call it as a disappearing sea. So this was all about chapter number 3A. Let's next switch on to chapter number 3B and the last chapter in our revision series. In this chapter 3B, name of the chapter is water bodies, and we are particularly dealing with lakes and rivers. The first definition in this chapter is, what is a lake? Lake is a body of water surrounded by land on all the sides. That is a definition of a lake. And we know that whether it is a lake or a river, they ultimately join the sea. So we have some important lakes of the world, like the deepest lake in the world is Lake Baikal, right? And we have many freshwater lakes, we have saltwater lakes, we have many kinds of the lakes, and the kinds of the lakes depend upon the characteristics of the lakes. Now come to the uses of the lake. Why lakes are essential for us? First importance of the lake is, they are the habitat for many birds. They are the habitat for many animals. That is the first importance. The second one, lakes are the source of drinking water. Across the world, the lakes are source of the drinking water. Then lakes also serve as we also use lakes for inland navigation, in the sense navigation through boats. We do it through the lakes. Then farmers use lake water for irrigating the crops. Artificial lakes are constructed and water is stored in those lakes to use during the emergency conditions like drought, etc. Drought, famine, etc. Then lakes formed by the dams also provide hydroelectric energy. Using the lakes, using the water stored in the dams, we produce hydroelectricity. The electricity produced through water, we call it as hydroelectricity. Hydro is water. Electricity produced through water is hydroelectricity. Then the lakes are the source for recreation. We go on for boating, we go on for picnic, that is recreation. Swimming, water skiing, fishing, etc. are some of the activities which we do in the lake region or the lake area. So now come to the first lake, that is Lake Baikal. Lake Baikal. We can find this lake in the southeastern Siberia, that is in the Russia. In that region, in Russia we have the Siberian region, and in this region we can find this Lake Baikal. This is the deepest lake in the world. What is the speciality of this lake? The speciality is that this is the deepest lake in the world. And this lake contains nearly 20% of the world's unfrozen freshwater reserves. Then the important animals found in this region are musk deer, reindeer, red fox, etc. The next lake is Lake Omega, also known as Lake Onega, located in the northwestern part of Russia. This is the second largest lake of Europe. This lake, the Lake Onega or Omega, is connected with Baltic Sea by the White Baltic Sea Canal. So this lake is again as a source of fishing. It is also used for inland navigation. Then goods are shipped over this route from Finland, Sweden, Denmark, Germany, etc. As this lake is very near to the European region, this is used for transportation of the goods in this part of the world. Next is Lake Titicaca. Lake Titicaca. The Lake Titicaca is located between Andes, in the Andes mountain region between the countries of Bolivia and Peru. This is important. The Lake Titicaca is located in the Andes mountain region and between Bolivia and Peru. This is one of the highest, height of the lake is more than 1200 meters above the sea level. So it is a highest lake of the world, making it highest commercially navigable lake in the world. Apart from, again, the features of the lake or uses of the lake are same. Source of water, it is used for agriculture, everything is same. Next is Great Lakes of North America. This is important because 5 lakes together we call it as Great Lakes of North America. Which are those 5 lakes? Lake Erie, Lake Superior, Lake Ontario, Lake Huron and Lake Michigan. All the 5 rivers included together, we call it as Great Lakes of North America. The lake is very important in this part of the world. In the country of America, this lake plays a crucial role. Why? Because it is a source of water for many cities in the western part of the America, and it is this lake is a source of irrigation. It is used for inland navigation. So this place, apart from this, many of the animals and birds thrive in this lake, obviously. So lake is very important. Next is Lake Victoria. Where do we find Lake Victoria? In the continent of Africa, the Lake Victoria is situated, and this lake is the source of River Nile. It is from this lake that River Nile originates, and it drains into the Mediterranean Sea, isn't it? So then this Lake Victoria is situated between countries of Uganda, Tanzania and Kenya. Next is Lake Chilika. The lake we can find in the eastern coast of India. In the state of Odisha we find this lake. It is a lagoon lake. What is lagoon? We have already done. We have understood. It is a brackish water lake. That means it is a salt lake. It is a great source of fishing, because in the sense fishing is one of the occupation in this part, in this region, and the lake is known for a variety of fish called a variety of dolphin called as Irrawaddy dolphin, and this dolphin we can find only in this lake or in this region, Irrawaddy dolphin. Next come to rivers. What do we mean by river? A river is a fresh water flowing across the surface of the land, usually to the sea. That means the river flows across the land and the river joins the sea. Every river joins the sea and the sea ultimately joins the ocean. Again come to the uses of the sea. It is uses of the river. It is a source of water, it is source for drinking water purpose, it is used for irrigation. Many organisms, birds thrive here. They are the part of water cycle, etc. Rivers are used for irrigation, rivers are used for inland navigation. So more or less the functions of the rivers remain the same. Next is River Mackenzie. Mackenzie is the longest river in Canada, covering a distance of 1800 kilometers. So where do we find this Mackenzie River? Mackenzie River in the country of Canada. And this Mackenzie River has many lakes in between, Lake Great Slave, Great Bear, Atakasaba, Liard, Hay, Peel. We have already sourced the course of the river in our regular class with the map. We have already done this, so better once go through. Next is River Nile, one of the longest rivers of the world, lengthiest rivers of the world. The distance covered is more than 6,400 kilometers. River Nile originates in Lake Victoria. The flow of the river is from south to the north, and when Blue Nile and White Nile merge at a place or join at a place, and the place is called as Khartoum. From that place Khartoum we call it as River Nile. So before that it is River White Nile and River Blue Nile. Next is River Ganga, the sacred river of India, and we can see the flow of the River Ganga in the states of Uttarakhand, Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, West Bengal, right? The River Ganga has formed a fertile valley in the region, in the state of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. It is a source of water supply. The water is used for irrigation. And because of the flow of River Ganga, it is a fertile valley where you can grow many kinds of the crops. The river has many tributaries like Yamuna, Gandak, Gagra, Kosi, right, etc. Many crops are grown in this region, and this River Ganga forms the world's largest delta. That largest delta is called as Sundarban Delta. Next river is, and the Sundarban Delta is known for Royal Bengal tigers, as well as it is known for a tree called Sundari trees. It is a mangrove tree, and the Sundarban Delta is known for these trees. Next is river Indus. Again, we can find the flow of river Indus in the countries of both the countries of India and Pakistan. The river rises in the Lake Manasa Sarovara region, flows through the Union Territory of Ladakh, then Jammu and Kashmir, then enters the Pakistani territory, Sindh region of Pakistan, then ultimately joins the Arabian Sea region, isn't it? Again, the river is a source of water and irrigation, particularly for the Sindh province in Pakistan. People of Pakistan are dependent on river Indus and its tributaries. The river Indus has 5 tributaries: Jhelum, Chenab, Ravi, Beas and Satluj, right? And all these 5 tributaries flow in India also. We call them as Panchanad, land of 5 rivers. Punjab is called as land of 5 rivers because all the 5 tributaries of river Indus flow in that region. Next is river Lawrence. St. Lawrence is the longest river of North America and it is the outflow from the entire Great Lake region. It forms the boundary between India and it forms the boundary between Canada and US. So it is a binational river. The next river is river Mississippi. Second longest river of America, flows through the middle of United States. Again, river is very important for the country of America because it is a source of water, source of drinking water purpose, as well as water is used for irrigation purpose. Then again the river water is used for inland navigation, etc. Next is river Danube. It's the second longest river in Europe, which is the first longest river. River Olga is the longest river in Europe and river Danube is the second longest river of Europe. Again, this river Danube flows through many countries in the European region. The countries like Germany, Australia, Croatia. There are many countries, at least it flows through 9 to 10 countries. So obviously an important river. Again, other functions of the river remain the same. The next river is river Amazon. Amazon is the world's second longest river. After Nile, this is the second longest river in the world. We can find this river in the continent of South America and it is the country of Brazil where the main branch of the river flows through, and this river Amazon has many tributaries, right? And in this area we find equatorial forest also called as Amazon forest. The river is known for its habitat for many organisms, other species, etc. Next is river Rhine. So river Rhine, where can we find this river Rhine? In the continent of Europe, we find this river Rhine. And the Rhine runs through most populated part of Europe and its streamers and barges carry a steady flow of cargoes. The river is used for its inland navigation. Next river is river Yangtze. Yangtze, we can find it in this river in the country of China, isn't it? In the western part of China, we find this river. Next, Huanghe. Again, in the country of China, we find this Huanghe river. It's the world's 6th longest river, which covers a distance of 3395 miles. The river is also called as Yellow River. The river is known for its changing course. Every season the river changes its course. Because of that, this river is also known as river of sorrow. Next river, Murray-Darling. Murray and Darling, this river we can find in the continent of Australia as well as in the country of Australia, as Australia is both a continent and a country. This river it drains through provinces of Victoria, New South Wales, Queensland. River has two important tributaries which join at a place. One is river Murray and other one is river Darling. And here this river basin area is known for many animals like kangaroos, then koala bears, dragon lizard, etc. The last river is the Ob River, Ob. It is again another major river of Asia which flows through is the major river of Asia and flows through central Russia. This river is usually frozen for 5 to 6 months in a year, so that a person can walk on this river, because we can find this river in the Russia, and it is a high altitudinal river where conditions are extreme, where conditions are frozen. So because of this it is a frozen river, again known for its fishing, etc. So this was all about river, this one, fourth chapter 3b, sorry. So last part is question paper pattern, QP, right? Question paper pattern, and total marks is 80. You are going to write for whole of the 80 marks. In section A, (40 marks has been allotted, and all the 1 markers like fill in the blanks, match the following, give reasons, all the 1 marker questions you can find in section A. Coming to section B, again 40 marks is allotted for section B, and in section B you are going to write 8 questions of how many marks? Of 5 marks each. 8 5s are 40. Options will be there, maybe 10 or 11 questions will be given to you, out of which you have to write answers for the 8 questions. Repeating again, for every question 5 marks has been allotted. That means if you write 8 questions, 8 into 5 equals to 40. So in section A we have 40 marks, and in section B we have 40 marks. Total marks is 80. So we'll meet in our next class. Thank you.